bowling what it seems to feel of slip. Man at backward point. Man at backward point. Cover. Mid off. Long on. Deep mid wicket. Man at short mid wicket. A man under the bat on the onside. And a man at square leg. Orthodox square leg. They're trying to squeeze as much pressure. Here is Jacobs. Flighty delivery. Otar is back and pushing it back down the pitch. And you may overcompensate where he gets his drive. Here he is on the back foot again. That ball wasn't necessarily all that short. Sucker the bowlers into bowling a little bit more fuller in length. This ball is flighted and he's forward. Had to get on top of that quickly. Joseph Palmer, he wouldn't want to miss another. This ball is turned into the onside by Otar. And Mackenzie comes across from backward square fields. And they go through for an easy single. It brings Joseph Palmer on strike. Here is Damion Jacobs to bowl to Joseph. And Joseph is back and looking to pull this one. That one came at him a little bit quicker than he thought. Here is Jacobs. Palmer gets back, cuts. He cuts nicely past the man at point. They go through for one. They'll come back for the second. And the man at cover, looks like Christopher Lamont, had to sprint across to feel it. And that's the end of Damion Jacobs' over. His first over. 3 runs coming from it. At the end of it, it's 38 for the loss of 1 wicket. Joe bat and face Damion Jacobs. This ball is flighted and Joseph plays forward. Forward press, they call it these days. Here is Jacobs. Flighted delivery and Joseph Palmer turns this one into the onside. That looked like the googly. And Palmer watched it all the way onto the bat, turned it to the onside, and then go through for a single. Here he is to bowl to Otar. Otar is back and punching to Sadiki Bolt, who is positioned at short cover. Jacobs. Here is Jacobs. Short. Otar pulls and pulls well. He gets a single. It only passes the man at square leg. Here is Jacobs to bowl to Palmer. And Palmer is back and cutting, but he can't beat the man at point. A very dangerous stroke there. One would think Palmer has to be very careful. This ball is back and he's cutting. This time he cuts well past the man or in front of square, and the man, Christopher Lamont, comes in off the cover boundary fields and sends a looping throw back in, and they go through for a single. And at the end of another Damion Jacobs over, it is 43 for the loss of 1 wicket. Here is Damion Jacobs. His partner in crime, they call him. And this one is back of a length. Otar comes back and defends well. Here they are again, partnering to try and get some wickets for Melbourne. That one again from Damion Jacobs. Having Otar pressing forward. It looked like the googly again. Hands to try and control it. This ball is flighted and Otar lets it go through. I like the communication between both umpires. Both have been having a very good game thus far. This ball is flighted and forward in defense is Otar from Damion Jacobs. Here he is. And this one is almost played onto the stumps. Otar went back trying to force a cut shot. He succeeded in cutting the ball, getting it on the edge, and it went. Here is Jacobs to bowl to Joseph Palmer, who lets this one go by. And that's the end of over number 13. At the end of it, it's 44 for the loss of 1 wicket and in edging to the wicketkeeper. Damion Jacobs to bowl to Joseph Palmer, short in length, and Palmer goes back and plays. Welcome, Sean.
ADF would have the upper hand at this point in the game. They are a very strong reply to Melbourne's paltry 103. Currently Otar 89. The umpires today, as we said before, are Christopher Taylor. He is at the Blue Mountain. Here is Jacobs to bowl to Palmer, and Palmer is leaving this one outside the off stump. No troubles is that delivery, Kerry Scott.
But Jacob, but with Joseph, you have to bowl on his stumps.
That's correct. Another delivery you see here. A single coming off it. That ball on the line of the leg stump, and Joseph sweeping down to that man at orthodox square leg. He gets a single and moves on to 19. The score moves up to 49 for the loss of the one.
So here is Damion Jacobs, the ball to the left-handed Otar. Otar is sweeping. And that ball, Sean, was a little bit backing length.
Right, Kerry. Right now, we see Nikita Miller pushing back the man at a square leg somewhat deeper. Jacobs is into Palmer, and Palmer is on the back foot. There's a loud appeal for LBW. Very loud appeal from the Melbourne team. The umpire is unmoved, Christopher Taylor. The fans making some comments about the umpire there, but he was very certain that ball was a bit high, you would say, Kerry.
I think that was an excellent decision by umpire Christopher Taylor. Excellent decision. That ball wasn't only high, but that ball would seem as though it would have been missing the leg stump.
Correct here on that analysis, Kerry. Here's Jacobs again to Palmer. He's pushing this one down to mid-on. There will be no run taken. The score remains on 50 for the loss of 1 wicket. Man on 20, and with him is Otar on 21.
Palmer seems very agitated here, Sean. He's looking to get after Jacobs. He came down the track and looked to play a heave over the mid-wicket region. Palmer so far, Sean, he has had a life. He's been very fortunate. He was bowled off a no ball, and also he popped a ball to the man at short leg, who, if he had stood where he was, the ball would have fallen in his lap to his right, and they missed him again. He's riding his luck, isn't he?
That's right, and with luck comes a longer stay at the crease. And JDF team, they wouldn't want him to stay there very long.
Indeed, here he is. He's a fighter. One would say in Jamaica, as they call, he's a soldier.
They're generally pitching on and about the off stump. This one is Palmer's down the track and swings this one to mid-on, but there's no run. That was really not the proper stroke there to play, Kerry. This ball was just outside the line of the off stump. He chose to swing across the line and carry this ball, drag this ball down to the mid-on region. Luckily for him, he got a lot of the ball on the bat, and he was not out. That's right. I drove him just now, and
Very good time. Remember, that was being brought to you by Juice TV. Sliced by Damion Jacobs.
Damion Jacobs, the Jamaica leg spinner. He's in, and this ball is wide outside us, and Rashid is back and hits this one through the covers. That ball was there. It was short, wide, and was asked to be hit. The umpire signals 4 runs, and Rashid, he gladly took that delivery from Jacobs.
Made no mistake in banging on.
That's right. This delivery is on the line of off stump, and that one bounced and passed just outside the off stump of Otar. Otar showing than the previous. Here he is, and again to Otar, and this ball is short and on the line of the leg stump. Otar is looking to get a single, but it's turned down by Jacobs. He takes it up from the commentary box end, and this ball is hit directly back at him. A short stroke there, trying to whip the delivery from outside the off stump through the onside region. There are 2 men posted in the deep in Tariq White. He is in the deep mid-wicket region on the long on boundary. Here is Jacobs in, and this ball, Otar is forward in defense, solid together, bat and pad. Let's see how the cat and game mouse goes. Jacobs is in again, and this ball is outside the line of the off stump. Pushing to the man at cover, who he does the fielding. Again, Jacobs into Otar, and Otar is back and pushing this one through the cover region into the Kingston Cricket Club stands. Will it go for 4? The batsman have gone for 1. It runs over the boundary, and the umpire signals 4. That's a very good shot there, Kerry.
Indeed, a very good shot. Rashid Otar seems the type of player who's very strong off his back foot. And outside the off stump, giving him the room, he's going to make full use of it.
That's right, Kerry. And that has forced Nikita Miller to make some changes. He has now pushed the man on from the orthodox point region down just in front of the Kingston Cricket Club stand on the boundary. Here again, JDF scores a tickle on the leg side down to the fine leg region. Otar, he gets 2 more runs. Very good scoring rate here for this type of cricket. And he is forward this time, pushing this delivery down to the man at long on for a single. Very good over there by JDF standards. Went for 7 runs. That is the over. The score is now 62 runs for the loss of 1 wicket.
Start over. You know, the saying, right after a break, things normally happen. And Palmer pushes this one down to the long off region. It seemed as though, Sean, he was looking to play that one through the onside.
Otar now on strike. He's Jacobs, and Otar is whipping this one through mid-wicket and cannot score. Very good shot there by Otar. What is it like, Kerry, you should be able to tell me, of playing these very good strokes to score? It's very frustrating, I must think.
Not really for me. I was somebody who was known to pick the gaps.
That's right, and they are also capitalizing on the loose deliveries by the Melbourne team. No ball is called here by umpire.
That's a
third no ball
from this innings from the Melbourne team. We saw the first one from Christopher Lamont, the second one from Rolando McKenzie, who Joseph Palmer with that no ball, and now Damion Jacobs.
All right, again, this delivery bowled pitched wide outside the off stump of Otar, who flashes at it, gets the ball to edge, peel off his bat down to the backward square region. He scampers 2 runs. I see Otar, Kerry, was trying to run fast just now. They are moving at that pace, but Jacobs again. He is in from the Blue Mountain end, and this ball is flighted on the line of the leg stump, and Otar plays it comfortably behind square, where the wicket keeper runs around and does the fielding. They're trying to get 103 runs made by Melbourne. Jacobs is in again, and this ball is on the line of the leg stump again. Otar is back and in defense. Over is called by umpire Christopher Taylor. His accompanying umpire is Edsel Mitchell.
Gray. Jacobs will be bowling from the Courtney Walsh end. Here is Jacobs. His ball is flighted outside the off stump. It didn't spin back at all. And Gray let that one go by outside the off stump. His first spell was for 8. This ball is swept. And Jacobs has his hand on his head as if to say that touched something. Gray wasn't interested.
Apparently, it touched the bat of Gray, and the keeper skipped around, anticipated that swept. And anticipated well, however, the keeper was unable to hold on.
It didn't seem as though it touched the bat because immediately Gray had his hands up in the air to say, as if to say, like what? But again, it's what umpire Taylor says that really and truly would determine what happens. And that ball is squeezed into the offside by Gray. Again, Sean, Gray was on the front foot. He opened the face, allowed the ball to come to him, opened the face, and got it to the right of the man at cover point.
Off the good ones. Jacobs now bowling to Bennett, and Bennett is forward and playing bat and pad close together. The ball squeezes out on the onside. No run taken. Now afterwards has been fighting on. Here is Jacobs, and the ball is flighted, and Bennett is in the one. This one is hit in the air. Will he be caught? No, he won't be caught. This one goes over the boundary for 6 runs. A very good straight hit by Bennett. The ball was on the line of the off stump. Jacobs thought he was in with a chance. Bennett was equal to the task, and he hit this one cleanly over long off. It went straight over the bowler's head for 6. He moves on to 27. The score goes up to 137 for the loss of 3 wickets.
The player, here's Jacobs. Top of his mark. Comes in. Flighty delivery. Bennett is back and pushing this one into the offside. The score remains at 139 for 4. Joined him 3 minutes ago. He's on 2 and he's faced 2 deliveries. Flighty delivery from Jacobs, and Bennett is forward. He had to go on top of that one to try and keep it down. The man in front of him under the bat was lurking.
He really didn't have any problems with the line. More so, the length was giving him trouble. Again, another delivery on the line of the leg stump. Turned behind square where Javel Glenn does the fielding. 3 all out this morning. Again, a good delivery by the leg spinner Damion Jacobs, formerly of Norman Manley High School, bowling now for Melbourne Cricket Club, the franchise tournament. Here is Jacobs. This is a line of leg stumper. Stifled the peel. This delivery was definitely going down leg. The umpire is not interested. The umpires, again, for today's game, Christopher Taylor and Edson Mitchell, Sean Johnson, that's myself, and co-commentator Kerry Scott. Our sponsors today, Juice TV.
Do battle against Damion Jacobs. Jacobs flighted outside the off stump. There's a loud appeal for leg before. Not out, says umpire Taylor. That ball didn't spin back enough, in my opinion. And I suspect that would have been what umpire Taylor would have thought about. The only person who really went up for that appeal was Damion Jacobs. At first slip, Captain Nikita Miller. Here is Jacobs, flighted delivery, driven down to the man at mid-off by Leslie. They can't score.
What was happening there? The batsman played with his pad only, and that was a challenge.
And he's gone. So, Leighton Leslie, he goes caught by Silimidon. That delivery was pitched on a good length. It bounced a little bit on him. Leslie seemed surprised at the bounce that ball got. And in my opinion, that ball really and truly didn't get any excessive bounce or anything.
Lost 3 wickets for 41 runs.
Sheldon Cottrell is the new batsman. And we all know Sheldon on the glove. Here he is to do battle against Jacobs. And Jake always looking to turn this one. I want spun a bit. Spun him around. And it went to the man under the bat. And Jacobs now looks very interested. He'll score very quickly. Here is Jacobs. Flighted delivery, and Cottrell is forward. That ball didn't spin a lot, and Cottrell had to come down on it very quickly. And that's the end of a maiden wicket from Damion Jacobs. An over in which we saw the back of Leighton Leslie, caught by Trevon Griffiths under the bat. And Damion Jacobs picked up his first wicket there.
That's right, Kerry. Here is Jacobs to bowl to Bennett, and Jacobs is in and bowls, and Bennett is back and playing this one behind square. There is no run. Bennett looking very confident now in his stroke play. Out Bennett. He has batted positively after the tea break here again, getting some runs. Let's see if he got some bat on that delivery. Went away for 4, and yes, he did get some bat. A wayward delivery there by Jacobs. Went down the leg side. Bennett went for the sweep. He got some bat on it. The ball ran away down to fine leg for 4 runs, 47 for 5. Here is Jacobs again to bowl to Bennett, and Bennett was thinking of hitting this one. He pulled out of the stroke at the last minute.
Jacobs, I'm sure, would be interested in that. Here is Jacobs. Again, this ball fired in onto the off stump, and Bennett squeezes it to the man at point, and there's no run. Hurry himself here. Here he is to bowl to Bennett. And Bennett is back and pulling this one through the vacant mid-wicket region. It goes now into the fence of 4. And that, I'm sure, will lively up the crowd here. Now, we have not seen any boundary for some time since the start of this over. And we've seen 2 in this over. A sweep shot from Bennett, and then a real good pull shot from him. That brings JDF's 150 into sharp focus. The 150 has come off 368 balls, and it has taken them 184 minutes to get there.
That's right. Here's Jacobs again to bowl to Bennett, and this delivery is flat. Bennett is back and playing defensively. That ball goes to point. There is no run taken, and that's the call of the over. The score is 151 for 5.
Hold the JDF team out before the end of today's play. Here is Jacobs. Flighted delivery, and this one is turning to the onside by Sheldon Cottrell. They go through for 1. Javel Glenn comes and fields from behind square. Had to do a little bit of running there just to get to it quickly. And that now, the score now moves to 153 for the loss of 5. 36, Sheldon Cottrell just joined him. He's been there 12 minutes. 9 deliveries he has faced for his 2. Here is Jacobs. Flighted delivery. Bennett is forward, opening the face, running into the offside, and he can't score.
Tried to play his own game, to score quickly. And with that came the confidence to now be playing all these plethora of strokes that we see coming from the young soldier.
And I think the confidence to Damion Jacobs, and a slight adjustment in the field. Javel Glenn, who was at the mid-wicket region, he's now at square leg. Here is Jacobs, the bowl. And this one is hit high in the air. He should be taken. Mackenzie's under it. He takes the catch. And Sheldon Cottrell goes. Caught at long off of the bowling of Damion Jacobs. And Sean, you knew that was coming. I said it the over before. If he was able to last the over from Nikita Miller, he would have done well. And here he is to Damion Jacobs, the leg spinner, who has been giving him some problems. That one was flighted just outside the off stump. Cottrell thought he was close enough to it, but he really wasn't. And he only succeeded in hitting a very high catch, which was gladly taken by young Ronaldo McKenzie. And JDF, they have now lost their 6th wicket at 154. Really get at the bowling, which we didn't see him doing. Here is Jacobs to bowl to Bennett, who's turning this one into the onside. They go through for one. They think about the second, and they won't get it. Joining Bennett now is Rohan Chang. Chang is 13th over. You'll now exact a lot of pressure on Chang, and Chang is letting this one go by outside the off stump. The wicketkeeper, he didn't read it, and they go through for the second run. They think about the third. No, they won't think about the third. And that's 2 more runs added to the score, and it seems as though he got some bat on it, Sean.
That ball bounced and spun. Chang, he played a leave alone stroke. However, the ball bounced and hit the back of the bat. Very fortunate there for Chang.
Field, the man who was on the cover boundary is now up at cover. Here is Jacobs, and Jacobs is bowling this one outside the off stump, and Chang is beaten outside the off stump. He doesn't look very comfortable, does Chang. But I'm not sure if he has the ability to do it. Here is Jacobs, and Chang is forward, and this ball trickles to short mid wicket. Add another wicket.
That's true, and get Chang is either he is not reading the bowling here by Jacobs, or is not reading the ball off the pitch. He was forward a long time before that delivery touchdown, and basically gloving it to that short mid on position.
At the top of his mark, going to bowl to Chang, and Chang is driving this one down to the man at mid on, who is Christopher Lamont. He can't score, and again the helmet that was worn by Trevon Griffiths. Yes, this is trying to protect the boundaries. Man at deep backward square and a man at long on. Here is Jacobs, flighted delivery, and Chang is beaten outside the off stump. There's a stifled appeal, not out, says umpire Taylor, and immediately the players accept, and they will move on with their business.
His off stump, wary of that googly bowl by Jacobs, and safely negotiating that over there by Jacobs. That position against the Melbourne team.
Indeed, and here is Damion Jacobs. He'll be bowling to Chang, and this ball is flighted, and Chang is driving down to the man at long off. They thought about the single, but they decided against it. I think the single may have been on if they had gone right away. Christopher Taylor, they weren't too happy at the end of that over, Sean. They were signaling for the water, and none was forthcoming. This one is flighted, and Chang lets this one go by outside the off stump. It bounced a bit there. The wicketkeeper took it right just around his ear.
Sure, he wouldn't be bowling like that to Bennett. However, Chang is a different type of batsman. Here's again, and this ball is on the line of the off stump again, given some air by Jacobs. You see Jacobs is trying to entice Chang into those drives that he has been playing since he has come to the wicket. And however, he has not scored off anyone, and Jacobs wants him to continue. Here's Jacobs again. This ball outside the off stump, and Chang lets it go. The keeper collects, and Jacobs has bowled 14.4 overs for 43 runs with the wickets of Leslie and Cottrell.
I'm sure he'll be trying to have Chang play a little bit more. But this delivery is down the leg side, and no ball called by umpire Taylor. And smart bit of work there by the wicketkeeper. Wicketkeeper Nepal Watson is his name, and stop that one from going past. Here is Jacobs, and this one is outside the off stump, and Chang cuts and misses. That ball bounced and turned, and Chang again going after that one. If he had gotten an edge on that one, I'm sure he would have been really mad. This ball is flighted and in the air, hit down to the man at long on. The man was just moved from mid on to long on, and that obliged Chang. And the score here at Sabina Park in this 2017 JCA Senior Cup final between defending champions Melbourne CC and the Jamaica Defence Force. The Melbourne CC, they were first at bat. They made 103. And JDF in reply, they're 173 for 6. JDF, they bowled 30. Here is Jacobs, flighty delivery. And this one is hit in the air by Bennett. And the man at long on comes off the fence and fields. That ball was fired into Midland leg stump. And the score now inches to 174 for the loss of 6 wickets.
That's right. And Jacobs is taking up the attack from the pavilion end. And he's in that seems to be a googly. Very well played by Chang. Chang, the wicketkeeper from JDF. Up. Jacobs is in and this delivery is teasing Chang. But he's in no mood to be teased. That's left alone outside the off stump wisely by Mr. Chang. Trying all the tricks in the book. Here's again a flighty delivery on the off stump and thought Chang would have taken a bite at that cherry. Chang didn't. There was no room for any ball to pass through. Again, here's Jacobs is in and outside the off stump. Chang has nothing to do with it. Batting very sensibly to push the score past 200. Again, Chang is in defense and Jacobs on target this time. You can see what Jacobs is doing. He's bowling some on the stump and then trying to tease Chang into fishing for those deliveries outside the off stump. Bennett is on 50. He's to take strike and this delivery is played defensively into the offside by Bennett. Jada's on the offside and also on the leg side. Bennett is back to delivery, is beaten by that ball. A very good delivery there by Jacobs. A deep point, a deep long off, a deep long on, and a deep backward square. Jacobs is up to the wicket and he bows his ball is flighting and is left alone outside the off stump. Very good batting here by the man Sean Bennett. 50 runs. Here is Bennett up and Jacobs flights this ball. He tried to drive that on the offside. It peeled off the inside edge and he successfully got a single. Won't be taking that very lightly. Again, Jacobs to Chang and this one is flicking on the leg side and will get some runs. He goes off for one. He hears back but is sent back rightfully by Bennett. Only a single taken. Chang goes to double figures now. He's in up to 10 from 40 deliveries. Adjustment made to the square leg fielder. Jacobs again up to Bennett and is short and Bennett is back and punches this one through the covers. He's going to get some runs here. He goes for one, turns for the second. The fielder, Stephen Taylor, throws in the delivery now. 2 runs have been taken. 181 is the score at the end of that over. 6 wickets have fallen. The Army men are leading by 78 runs. Very close in field. Here is Jacobs to Chang and Chang is playing defensively on the onside. No run taken, fielded by Bolt of 79 runs. Here is Jacobs to Chang and Chang is forward and playing with one hand off the bat. Successfully keeping that ball down. Here's Jacobs again to bowl to Chang and Jacobs in a body shot and Chang is back and cutting and successfully keeping that ball on the ground. However, his aim was over that square leg region into the Kingston Cricket Club stands.
Seemed as though he wanted to pull that delivery.
Right, but the ball ended up at short cover.
That ball didn't. He seemed as though he was expecting that ball to come into him. Right. It came on with the arm. It held its line outside off stump.
And it didn't bounce as much. It's a good thing he got some bat on it. Jacobs again, the man at square leg has been pushed back some more. Here is Chang and Chang is forward. A very wide stretch to keep that ball out and they would love to give Chang a single right now. Here is Jacobs into Chang and this ball is played wide outside the off stump by Chang. That delivery could have been left alone. Jacobs again into Chang and Jacobs is playing this ball short. A no ball called by umpire Christopher Taylor. Jacobs is inquiring what is the reason for that call. Seems to be a front foot infraction by Jacobs. His third. That is correct. Here is Jacobs again and bows this ball on the line of the off stump and Chang is in no worries to play defensively. That's the call of the over. Jacobs now has completed 18 overs for 50 runs. He has taken 2 wickets. Lamont has completed 18 overs as well for 35 runs. He has taken no wickets. The Soldiers march on. They are 182 for 6, a lead of 78. And Kerry, I'm sure Melbourne would want to take these last 4 wickets. The problem is they wouldn't want to take them until about 10 minutes to 6 o'clock.